Hey everybody, welcome back. So Scream Factory has announced their March lineup of movies, as well as release the specs for their upcoming January releases. As far as the March releases goes, it really looks like they have actually kind of a nice range of films between classics and more recent ones anyway. So let's just dive right into it. Now, obviously, these films are just announced, so they don't have any specs or anything yet. Those probably won't actually be out for a bit. So March 12th, they're coming out with Man's Best Friend, starring Ali Sheedy and Lance Henriksen. That was sort of one of those like killer dog movies, not quite Cujo, but similar in a way. Also coming out March 12th is The Craft. Now, they did already announce that, but now it actually has a release date and cover art, and they did announce, although extras obviously aren't coming until a little bit later, they did say that at least all the existing extras that were on previous releases will be ported over, which is good to know. I as I mentioned before, I always kind of bugs me when there's a release that doesn't have pre-existing extras included in it. So it is good that they are going to have all those, and obviously they're working on new ones, including a lot more interviews with the cast and crew. March 19th is actually bringing some older classic films finally to Blu-ray. I don't believe they've been on Blu-ray yet. So first up is The Witches, one of the Hammer films from 1966, starring Joan Fontaine. So obviously they're starting to really get a move on the Hammer films that they've acquired. And the next two are Nature Run Amok films, also coming out on March 19th. And these I'm really excited for. So they're coming out with Tarantula from 1955 and Deadly Mantis from 1957. This is really cool. I'm actually glad that they've been able to kind of get at some of these more older films in their collection, especially some of the ones from the 50s, because I believe these are Warner Brothers titles. So it's nice to know that some of these are actually seeing the light of day. Then on March 26th, one I am very excited about, I say that a lot, but I'm actually excited about this release, is The Body Snatcher, the Val Lewton film starring Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi. Looking forward to that one, so that should actually be really cool. And also on March 26th, they're releasing the 1985 movie Warning Sign, which is about a virus on the loose kind of thing. God, I haven't seen that I swear I haven't seen Warning Sign in a long time. I want to say they're trapped in a building or something, and there's a virus there, so I should probably read the description. But anyway, so that is coming out on March 26th as well. And Scream Factory has also released the specs for some of their January titles. So coming up on January 15th is Brian De Palma's Obsession. That's one I am very excited for. As I mentioned before, I'm a huge Brian De Palma fan. And actually, Obsession, I actually haven't seen. It's one of his few films I haven't seen yet. So I'm looking forward to that one. And that is going to have a new audio commentary track with Douglas Kesey, the author of Brian De Palma's Split Screen, A Life in Film. Producing Obsession, an interview with producer George Lito. Editing Obsession, an interview with editor Paul Hirsch. Obsession Revised, a vintage featurette featuring interviews with Brian De Palma, Cliff Robertson, and Genevieve Bujold. Theatrical trailer, radio spots, and still gallery. Again, that's coming out January 15th. And again, that's one I'm definitely excited about, because again, it's one of the few I haven't seen from De Palma. Also coming on January 15th is Philippe Mora's Halloween Heavens, Howling 3. And it's going to have a new digital transfer sponsored by the National Film and Sound Archive of Australia. No further details on that. Hopefully it's from the negative. New audio commentary with writer-director Philippe Mora, moderated by filmmaker Jamie Blanks. Oh, Jimmy Blanks, who did Urban Legend and Valentine. And then interview with Philippe Mora. Sorry. I can't laugh. Hold on. Crap, I got the giggles now. I didn't. That's what happens sometimes when you're kind of going through stuff too quick. Also, a separate interview with the director, and then vintage interviews from the documentary Not Quite Hollywood, the wild untold story of exploitation, as well as the trailer. And then coming on January 22nd is the Charles Bronson film 10 to Midnight, which is going to have a new 4K scan from the original camera negative. And then new interview with Andrew Stevens, a new interview with producer Lance Houle, Remembering Bronson, an interview with actor Robert F. Lyons, Undressed to Kill, an interview with actress Gianna Tomasina Keogh. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. New audio commentary with writer-historian Paul Talbot, author of Bronson's Loose and Bronson's Loose Again. Audio commentary with producer Pancho Coner, casting director John Crowther, and film historian David Delval, and as well as the theatrical trailer, radio spots, and a still gallery. I'm excited about that one because I missed out on the Twilight Time release of that one, and and it's funny, I got on this huge Charles Bronson kick earlier in the year. Not having that one as one of my options to watch kind of bummed me out. So I'm actually really excited to get this one because it's basically a slasher film with Charles Bronson in it. So it's like, what's not to like about that? And then finally, the specs on the upcoming release of the Sylvester Stallone film Cobra, which is going to have a new 2K scan of original film elements, so I'm assuming that's going to be the IP. Stalking and Slashing, an interview with actor Brian Thompson. Meet the Disease, an interview with actor Marco Rodriguez. Feel the Heat, an interview with actor Andrew Robinson. Double Cross, an interview with actress Lee Garlington. Work of Art, an interview with actor Art LaFleur. Audio commentary with director George P. Cosmatos. I'm glad they were able to port that over. Because you didn't know, Cosmatos did pass away a couple of years ago. Vintage featurette, teaser trailer, theatrical trailer, still galleries, and that's coming January 22nd. Kind of sucks that there's nothing with Stallone here, although I know Stallone's been busy doing new Rambo film, but still actually looks like a decent one. I know some people were complaining about the lack of deleted scenes and stuff, or about an uncut version. I don't know enough about it. I don't even know if any of that stuff still exists. Unfortunately, especially back then, stuff wasn't really archived. It didn't really happen, I think, really until the 90s. A lot of times when something was edited out of a film, especially if it came down to ratings, where they were trying to get an R rating, they would snip, really a couple frames off a shot here and there to get rid of some gore. That stuff literally was thrown out. None of it was archived. So that's probably why there's no uncut version of Cobra, I'm guessing. So that's it for the Scream Factory releases coming out in January with the updated specs, and then obviously the announcements coming in March. Really happy to see some older classic films also coming out in the March titles. Let me know what you're looking forward to. If there's anything you think should have been added to some of the specs, or if you're pretty happy with some of these upcoming releases. And I will see you on the next one.